importance of correct spelling, proper grammar, sentence structure, and word usage in reports. In law enforcement, precision and clarity of communication are paramount, particularly in written reports that may become part of official records, legal proceedings, or internal investigations. Correct spelling, grammar, sentence structure, and word usage are not just formalities, they are essential components of professionalism and competency. Errors in these areas can lead to misinterpretation, diminish the credibility of the officer, and negatively impact the outcomes of legal cases. Clarity and precision, correct spelling, grammar, and sentence structure ensure that the report is clear and unambiguous. Proper word usage guarantees that the intended meaning is conveyed accurately, reducing the risk of misinterpretation. Professionalism. Well-written reports reflect positively on the officer's professionalism, demonstrating attention to detail and respect for the formal nature of legal documentation. Credibility. A report free of errors strengthens the credibility of the officer as a competent and reliable professional. Conversely, frequent mistakes can lead to doubts about the officer's ability to perform their duties effectively. Legal accuracy. In legal context, the accuracy of a report is crucial. Errors in spelling, grammar, or word usage can change the meaning of a statement, potentially affecting the outcome of a case. Effective communication. Proper language use ensures that the report is easily understood by all readers, including other law enforcement personnel, attorneys, judges, and juries. This facilitates better communication across all levels of the criminal justice system. Scenarios. Proper vs. improper use. Scenario 1. Jail officer. Writing an incident report. Improper use. Example. Inmate Johnston was disturbed by another inmate and started 2 throw punches at him. I advised him to stop, and he wouldn't listen. Effects. This report contains spelling errors, disturbed instead of disturbed, to instead of to, trow instead of throw, advised instead of advised, and wouldn't instead of wouldn't, poor grammar, and improper sentence structure. These errors make the report difficult to understand, diminish the professionalism of the officer, and could lead to questions about the officer's competency. In court, this report might be seen as unreliable or could even be dismissed as evidence. This is one example of the correct way to write this scenario. Inmate Johnston was disturbed by another inmate and started throwing punches at him. I told him to stop, but he did not. This version is clear, concise, and free of errors, reflecting the officer's professionalism and ensuring that the report can be reliably used in any legal or administrative proceedings. Scenario 2. Patrol officer, writing an arrest report. Improper use. The suspect was running away from the scene when I spotted him. I approached him, and he reached for his weapon. I apprehended him without further incident. The misspellings: suspect for suspect, seen for seen, spotted for spotted, approached for approached, reached for reached, and weapon for weapon. And grammar issues reduce the report's clarity and could lead to serious misunderstandings. The unprofessional appearance of the report might cause a defense attorney to question the officer's attention to detail and credibility in court. This is one example of the correct way to write this scenario. The suspect was running away from the scene when I saw him. I walked toward him and he reached for his weapon. I arrested him without further incident. This report is clear and professional, ensuring that the information is accurately communicated and that the officer's actions are well documented. It reflects positively on the officer's competency and is more likely to hold up under legal scrutiny. The impact of improper grammar and punctuation on sentence meaning. Proper grammar and punctuation are critical in writing, especially in law enforcement and legal contexts, where the precise meaning of a sentence can have significant implications. Misplacing or omitting punctuation can completely alter the intended message, potentially leading to misunderstandings, misinterpretations, or even legal challenges. Let's explore how punctuation and word choice change the meaning of this sentence. Example sentence: the officer said the suspect is innocent. 1. The officer said, "The suspect is innocent," meaning the direct quotation from the officer shows that the officer clearly stated that the suspect is innocent. This implies certainty in the officer's statement. 2. The officer said that the suspect is innocent, meaning this sentence uses indirect speech indicating that the officer relayed information, but the statement may be paraphrased. It suggests that the officer communicated that the suspect is innocent, but it lacks the directness and exact wording of the previous example. 3. The officer said the suspect is innocent, meaning this shifts the perspective, implying that the suspect is the one who said that the officer is innocent. The placement of commas and word order changes the subject and completely alters the context of who is making the statement. Commonly misspelled words, misused words, and homophones in law enforcement and jail reports. Commonly misspelled words. 1. Acknowledge misspelled as acknowledge, acknowledge. Scenario, I acknowledge the suspect's rights. Reason, the silent W and the placement of E are often confused. 2. Surveillance, misspelled as surveillance, surveillance. Scenario, the officer conducted surveillance on the suspect. Reason, the complexity of the spelling. Particularly the double L and I leads to frequent errors. 3. Occurred misspelled as occurred scenario. The incident occurred at 3:00 p.m. Reason, the double C and R can be tricky for some writers. Let's continue with commonly misspelled words. 4. Assault misspelled as asphalt, assault. Scenario, the inmate was involved in an assault. Reason, the placement of A and U is often confused. 5. Handcuff misspelled as handcuff, handcuffs. Incorrect when singular. Scenario, I placed the suspect in handcuffs. Reason, the double F at the end is often missed. 6. Possession, misspelled as possession. Scenario, the suspect was found in possession of contraband. Reason, the double S can be easily overlooked or misplaced. 7. Separate misspelled as separate, separate. Scenario, we had to separate the two inmates. Reason, the A after P is commonly confused with an E. 8. Conscious misspelled as conscience, conscious. Scenario, the suspect was unconscious when I arrived. Reason, the similar spelling and pronunciation to conscience often lead to confusion. 9. Warrant misspelled as warrant. Scenario, a search warrant was issued. A reason, the double R and A are frequently misordered or missed. 10. Defendant misspelled as defendant. Scenario, the defendant was taken into custody. Reason, the A in the final syllable is often mistakenly written as an E. The following are numerous commonly misused words when writing reports because they have a similar pronunciation with different meanings. 1. Affect versus effect. Scenario, the officer's presence did not affect the suspect's behavior. The new policy had an immediate effect. Affect is a verb meaning to influence something, while effect is a noun meaning the result of a change. They are often confused because of their similar pronunciation. 2. Accept versus accept. Scenario, I accept the terms of the agreement. All inmates were searched except one. Accept means to receive or agree to something, while accept means to exclude something. The similarity in pronunciation leads to frequent misuse. 3. Then versus then. Scenario, we went to the scene, then secured the area. The suspect is taller than the officer. Then refers to time, while than is used in comparisons. They are often mixed up due to their similar spelling. 4. Principal versus principal. Scenario, the principal reason for the arrest was the warrant. The principal of the school was questioned. Principal is a fundamental truth or rule, while principal refers to the head of a school or an important person. Their similar spelling causes confusion. 5. Advice versus advised scenario. I gave the inmate advice on how to behave. I advise you to stay calm. Advice is a noun meaning guidance or recommendations, while advise is a verb meaning to give advice. The difference in pronunciation is subtle, leading to mistakes. 6. Their scenario. Their keys were found over there. They're going to the courthouse. There is possessive, there indicates a place, and there is a contraction of they are. These are often confused due to their identical pronunciation. 7. Cite scenario. The officer had the suspect in sight. The crime scene was at the construction site. I will cite the suspect for disorderly conduct. Cite refers to the ability to see, cite is a location, and cite means to quote or refer to something. These words sound identical, making them easy to mix up. 8. Right versus right scenario. It's important to do the right thing. The officer will write the report. Right can mean correct or a direction, while right means to compose text. The similar pronunciation leads to confusion in spelling. 9. Plain versus plain scenario. The instructions were plain and simple. The plane landed safely. Insight. Plain can mean simple or clear, while plain refers to an aircraft. The difference in spelling is often overlooked in casual writing. This completes Part 3. Proceed to Part 4.